Howdy folks, welcome back to my YouTube. I am your host, the Mighty Bjorn, and today I have for you some gameplay and a review of Conan Exiles. This is a build survival type game. It's a sandbox game created by Funcom. And it was early access release in 2017, with the full release finally in May of 2018. It is on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and this here is the PC version of the game. It's a pretty interesting game. The idea is you build and survive and conquer. You can do a lot of different things. I've already said building. You got to worry about food and water for survival, and also food is used for healing. You can do things like capture thralls, and they can be used for guards, but also some of them have skills, such as the blacksmith can create different higher level items, which is necessary for the game.
I will feast upon you. I go to the great feast.
Take these arrows here, since that's what I'm using right now on my bow. It's been kind of a while since I played Conan Exiles here.
A feast.
And also weapons give different status effects, such as maces will stun enemies, which is called sundered. There's also crippling effects. Actually, bows do crippling effects. Bows really aren't the best in this game, but they do work. Here, I'll show a bow here. There's a good actually shot in the back of the head. Yeah, see right now I'm crippled, so I can't really run that fast. And it uses extra stamina to run. And the game has PvE and PvP content. I mostly stick with PvE. There's actually really no point of doing PvP. Not from what I can tell. I mean, yeah, you can kill other players. You can loot their stuff based on the server settings that you are playing on. But all in all, you can't conquer someone's base and take their pets and take their thralls and things of that nature. Basically, you just kill and destroy everything. Really? There we go. And you gotta harvest various materials in the game, such as stone, iron, coal. You can get oil, all kinds of different things, different kinds of hides. And it's all used to make different items in the game, such as workbenches, weapons, armor, then obviously food if you're harvesting meat. You have many different stats, many different skills. But then the idea is to build a base. The end game is collecting a series of items and escaping the exile lands. Oh, is that F, I think? I can't remember the key. I really can't remember the key. But there's actually a bracelet that you're wearing, and there's a barrier, and you can't cross the barrier. Basically, if you do, while you're wearing the bracelet, you get vaporized. So really, the objective is to while you're building and setting up a place to be at, place to hold your equipment, things of that nature. Um, you need to you essentially kill bosses and collect items so you can actually escape the exiled lands. Go to my furnace here. And I'll show you some of the different materials there is. Whoops. Guess I should have looked over that far. So here you got brimstone, which is a stone you need to make. You can use it to make dye. You can use it to make steel fire, which steel fire and iron bars then make steel bars. You have star metal bars, which is like the highest level building material. I mean, there's also obsidian, but obsidian is kind of hard to work with and not really worth the hassle compared to the higher level star metal stuff. Here we got some tar from tanning some hides. Just kind of throw this here for now. And there's dye, which can be used to color armor. But see, you got different workbenches to make different items. Upgrade kits and patch kits. Here's a recipe to make different animated monsters with different stuff. I don't have this place fully built up yet. This is actually the third base I've built on this map, and this is actually the newest base. Pretty well started this character and just kind of ran up north right away and built a base way up north, which is actually... So this is the second base I built, and then here's the third base I built. And you can see there's a lot of different locations, different bases, caves, ruins. I haven't even gone out west yet, or sorry, east. There's a lot of stuff out here, a lot of good stuff out here actually, because there's gold out here, up in this area. There's a boss over in here. There's also some obelisk, which obelisk is used for teleportation from a map room. Unfortunately, with an obelisk, you can't go back to where you teleported from. You kind of just got to hoof it there on foot, which is the biggest part of this game. A lot of just running around on foot, gathering materials, gathering thralls, things of that nature to survive. But I'm going to leave the gameplay at that, and I'm going to talk more about how I feel about Conan Exiles. Just want to give you some gameplay so you can see the graphics, see the sounds. We're going to start off with graphics. The graphics is pretty good. The game does have weather effects. There's snow, there's rain. You get thunderstorms from time to time. Temperature effects is one part of the game too I didn't really cover there. That area was a hot zone, and I was actually wearing an armor that helps protect me from that zone. But if I head up north, I need to make sure I wear cold weather armor. So there is weather effects in the game that makes the game quite interesting at the time and even quite difficult at times, especially with temperatures. Because there is some areas that you can even get frostbite if you're not wearing the proper armor and essentially freeze to death. Sounds are pretty good. The building is a lot of fun. Capturing thralls is a lot of fun. It's a lot to learn when you first start playing the game. Now, if you're familiar with Ark or any other build survival type game like this, it'll be all very familiar to you, but there'll still be things to learn and catch on to. The combat system can be a little weird, but it also can be really good, really fluent. Um, some weapons, though, are more difficult to use than others. Personally, I like the greatsword myself, although the spear's not bad. Um, Using a shield and a battle axe really isn't bad. Sword and shield, that's iffy at times. Daggers, I'm not fond of, which is it's dual daggers. Um, and then there's also, as I said, archery, but there's also throwing spears, throwing axes, throwing knives, things of that nature. So there's a lot of weapon options in the game. Um, Now there's some things I really don't like about the game. There is some graphic glitches. There is some glitches in general. Sometimes when you kill someone, they'll glitch through the ground and then you can't find them. Sometimes when you die, a lot of servers are set up where if you die, you drop your gear. So if you die, once you respawn, you can run back to your body, get your gear back as long as no one else loots your body. The problem is sometimes your body will fall through the ground. It's kind of a weird thing too because they keep saying they fix it. And, like it seems like every couple patches, oh, we fixed this, and the problem is no, it's still there. Um, I've had mostly a problem with that on pub servers, and essentially, whenever I'm playing my own game, I just set it up that it's no drop on death, so that way I respawn with my equipment on me because it's too iffy at times. I mean, I've lost gear just because, like I said, body falls through ground, and then I can't recover it. Servers can be a little iffy at times, can be extremely laggy. Um, that's just the typical online thing that you get. Uh, Player base, it's got a decent player base, although there's some pretty trolly players out there. It's all, for the most part, the player base is pretty good, pretty friendly people for the most part. Um, a lot of people are knowledgeable. You can ask questions and usually get a fairly quick answer about something. And sometimes people even help you gather materials or help you through a dungeon or whatever else. So online playability wise, I've actually had generally a very good experience with Conan Exiles, and Conan Exiles actually has one of the best experiences I've had for online games. Um, Consider I've played Armored Warfare, World of Tanks, Star Trek Online. I play a hell of a lot of online games. Um, and I've had generally good experiences with Conan Exiles over most games. Um, let's see what else. Um, I would say that's really about it. That well, the building can be a little glitchy. Um, Not really any better or worse. Well, actually, it's a little bit better than Ark. I wouldn't say it's definitely not worse than Ark. But the glitchiness of the building at times can be extremely frustrating, especially considering when you get to the making the higher level materials, it starts getting really frustrating when the building gets glitchy. Sometimes stuff builds not quite where you wanted it to build. It just kind of suddenly just decide to build somewhere else from where the game was showing you it was going to build. And there's also those moments where stuff doesn't want to place, and you kind of got to mess around to get it to place in that spot. That can be extremely annoying. Some items can be repicked up and replaced, but then there's quite a few items in the game that cannot be picked up and replaced. Item stacks, some of them can be a real pain in the arse. Um, I'm not sure what stacks of honey are now, but stacks of honey is in stacks of 20. Stone is in stacks of 100. And the thing to understand is whenever you're building, like if you're building in stone, yeah, you need like, thousands of stone to build. So stacks of 100 kind of, ah. All in all, it's available on Steam for $39.99. Can I recommend this game? I would say yes. It's a fun game. However, there's also some other issues with that. there's really no replayability in the game. That's not like a normal RPG where you gotta like grind a boss over and over again to get something or to get a certain recipe or anything like that. Now that's something they're working on correcting and they're actually improving on that. So kudos to Funcom for that. Um, but that's actually been something that should have been put in the game a long time ago. Now that being said, between building, capturing thralls, trying to get yourself out of the exiled lands if you really want to, um, and I'll talk about that in a bit. It's a game that you can easily put 3 to 500 hours of gameplay in. I'm actually nearing 650 hours now myself of gameplay. This is not my first round of Conan Exiles. This is actually this game here that I was showing is actually my fourth gameplay through Conan Exiles. So I do enjoy the game quite a bit. I would highly recommend the game. As endgame though, I don't recommend wasting the time to actually escape the exiled lands because there's no prize to it. And what I mean by that is essentially you collect the items of power. You have to craft a new item with the items of power at this certain location, and then from that location you can remove the bracelet and escape the exiled lands. All that you get out of it is your character respawns at level 1, completely naked, all your stuff gone, except for like buildings or anything like that. And yeah, that's it. There's no prize to it. So grind yourself up to the maximum level, build your base, have fun, and don't worry about escaping the exiled lands because there's just no point. There's no prize in it. It'd be nice if they give you if a game would give you a special perk or some extra stat points or something for completing the game, but you honestly get fuck all nothing. So it's not even worth it. But all in all, yes, the game is very worth it. And as I said, I would recommend it. Anyway, folks, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the replay, and I will see you on the next one.